Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
I'll show you some hell in a cell. I'm Jem.
This is where the spiel changes. You can listen to us every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. That's right, change of day. Depending on the day, you get yourself a different show. Tuesdays, SmackDown. Thursdays, Raw. And maybe Wednesdays for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I didn't put that in the spiel because it happens infrequently.
Yeah.
But if you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to Patreon. First, go to the social medias. That's facebook.com/group/thepopculturist. Discord. Links are in the description. Harass us on Twitter. Stuff like that. But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist. You get yourself a nice little sneaky link where you can watch us record this show live multiple times a week.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Get excited. And if you want to support us in a one-shot fashion, head over to popculture.com/shop. We can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. We are also on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepopculturist. That's also changed. That's now Thursdays, not Wednesdays. Now Thursdays. To juggle all these new changes. Hey, man. Welcome to the new changes of the wrestling.
The new and improved The Young and the Wrestlers.
Yeah. So in the same way that WWE is hitting its new era with SmackDown that we've already talked about, it's all these big changes.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean there are some future changes for us as well. As of right now, we are recording in the same room.
Yes.
But we are looking at ways to do this remotely, just purely for behind the scenes ease.
Yeah.
With you living so far away, it's unmanageable to have that frequency. So we're in the process of making that happen, but in that interim, you do still get us in the room, same time. It may alter how the video is delivered in the future. Audio will always be the same.
Yes.
So that's not a problem at all. So SmackDown's out of the way for this week. What a fantastic show that was.
Oh, amazing.
But now
So good.
it's time for what was the afterthought of SmackDown, Hell in a Cell. Because before this match went to air, before this pay-per-view went to air, we had 4 matches confirmed.
Yes.
4.
Only 4.
Only 4. And then they just pulled another 4 out of their buttholes and delivered us pay-per-view for 3 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
Pretty much how it went down.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Let's just get straight into it, as we always do, because that's the whole point of these separated shows. It's shorter, it's nicer, it's tidier for you at home.
Yeah.
Less of us piss-farting around and more about wrestling.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything cool wrestling to talk about, which we kind of don't. So in the Kickoff show, it did have one match only. That was Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Not too bad. It's the only problem here is this is the 8th time we've seen it.
Yeah.
Problem number 1. And at the end of the match, they did say we're going to see it again at Raw and the last woman standing. So this match did end with Lacey getting a sharpshooter.
Yep.
And tapping out to Natalya. This is after a kind of a failed moonsault, didn't quite land. Look, I'm just going to put it out there because you haven't watched this match.
No, I haven't.
But Lacey is getting better.
I have noticed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
I've noticed. The first thing I noticed was, I think, a match I saw maybe a week or 2 ago when she did like the leg slide to like kick somebody's legs out from under him, and it actually connected. And I was like, you've got your reach now. Like, good job. No, she's doing really well. And like I said, we saw that thing on Twitter with her and the cop and the fine and stuff like that in Canada. I was like, this is beautiful. Like, she's really coming into her own, and I'm actually excited to see it again, just because I'm really enjoying watching the progression of Lacey. Yeah,
but like in terms of these guys, how can you feud this long with someone and this frequently? Go one of the change rooms, sit down, talk it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if it goes 8+ matches, talk it out.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could suss something out. All right.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Yeah, look, match was fine. One thing that was really cool and sort of a nice payback and a bit of a receipt from Natalya. So after the pin, they stand up and she just rocks her in the face. It was rad.
Yeah,
now wasn't the fist, but it was just a good like elbow to the jaw, dropped it down. It was cool. But yeah, so only one match on the card and pulled out of nowhere. So So that's in Kickoff show, so it's not too bad.
But the Kickoff show also pulled another show out of nowhere with Randy Orton challenging Ali.
Yeah, so they had a bit of a backstagey bullshitty thingy, and they announced that they're going to have a match later. It's like, all right, sweet. But the main card itself did start strong.
Oh, so strong.
So strong with Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in a Hell in a Cell
for the Raw
Women's Championship.
Holy shit. That's all I can say. What an amazing way to open a show. It was... Fuck, I don't even know where to start, dude. I don't know where to start. Like, this match, the whole thing.
Well, I don't even think they knew where to start.
Yeah.
So what happened is, so once they've made their way into the ring, before the cage even drops, before the bell even rings, Sasha's just going to town. She's just wrecking shop on Becky. So that's like, so they drop right. They end up skiffing on the ramp for a little while.
While they finally drop down the
people
ring.
get thrown in the walls, and then they get in. Cage lows. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Then chaos ensues.
Yeah. Absolutely chaotic. Like, I think it started, like, Becky got back into the swing of things by kicking the cell door into Sasha's face, and then they finally got in the ring, and the bell goes, and it's immediately like, what's under here and how much of it can we fucking pull out? Like,
yeah, so like, as you know from previous bouts with each other, they're not afraid to pull out chairs.
No.
So that's not a concern. So it's not a surprise that the end of this match ends with like a dozen chairs in the ring.
Yeah.
But like, there's a progression that gets to there. So there's,
and it starts with Becky stealing they're trying to lock the cage, and Becky steals the metal chain, wraps it around her fist, and starts going to town on Sasha. I was like, good start.
Yeah, adapting, no DQ,
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly it. And then I think next was like the kendo sticks, and then there was like chairs and tables
and ladders.
Yeah.
Like, everything that wasn't nailed down got used, and it was all used incredibly well.
Yeah,
like on both of their parts in terms of knowing how each other works at this stage, because this is what their third or fourth time they've fought. So, and then of course they've got those tag matches as well.
Yeah.
So they know each other at this point.
Yeah,
this is a lot smarter match because of it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. You do see at one point, like, Sasha is targeting Becky's, I believe, her left or right arm. I'm pretty sure it was the left arm. Obviously, like, if Becky can't use her arm, she can't lock in the disarmer.
Yeah.
So little tactics like that. There was this beautiful bit in the corner with some kendo sticks and a chairs, like, popped.
Yeah, so they created like a little high chair. They put the kendo sticks through the wall, through the corner, the cell, and put the chair on top, and then missile double kick thingy into Sasha as she's on the chair.
Yeah.
There's an incredible meteora from Sasha into a ladder.
Onto a ladder. Yeah, that was vicious. Look, you can't describe this match. It is one that you have to watch.
Yeah, like,
you absolutely have to watch it.
The consensus about his pay-per-view spoilers is not too well.
No.
But one thing that you should check out from this is 100% this match.
Oh, look, I 100% think that there's only one thing that spoiled this pay-per-view for me. Overall, it was solid. And I really enjoyed it.
And when you break, like, when
you break it down,
when you break that into its parts, it kind of stands tall. Not tall, but it stands higher than you expect. But when you look at it as a sum, it kind of has some problems.
Yeah. But no, it was an absolutely beautiful way to open the show. Becky does get the win with a disarm her to retain her championship.
Yep.
Which I was not expecting at all.
Me either. I totally had my bets on Sasha. I think I thought Sasha had that fire. She had that motivation to stand tall with Bayley at the end of this pay-per-view. It's sort of like the validator for her return, for everything that she's done in the last couple of weeks. That's how I saw this going.
Yeah, and you could see that it definitely ruined her afterwards, because as they're like panning, she's standing at the top of the ramp, just staring at Becky, almost in tears, just staring down at the cell, like borderline bawling her eyes out, like she was this close to just breaking down, just staring and huffing while Becky's celebrating. It was very, very intense. You could definitely see that it really messed with Sasha.
Well, I understand, like, this is the thing they talk about with the Hell in the Cell. Just that enclosed nature kind of fucks with you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And then after the big bright redness of it doesn't help. But yeah, the match was fantastic. It was probably, I think it was the longest match on the card.
Yeah,
so really happy. Although not the result I expected.
No.
It is a result I'm kind of wanting now.
Yeah.
As we get into some stuff later on.
Yes.
So what do we have next? So I'm using your notes here.
Yeah, go for it.
Next up was the tag team match, which became a tornado tag team match.
Tornado tag.
Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Erick,
Rowan
Rowan,
and
and
Luke
Luke
Harper.
Harper. Thank you.
Again, another brilliant match. I think for me, being two bigger dudes, Luke Harper and Erick Rowan, it's a bit slower on their side of things. You know, Roman Reigns can move pretty fast. Daniel Bryan even faster. So ultimately, it was a more slowed down match. I guess the big hype from the match before, you kind of needed that. But it did have its pops. You know, obviously when Daniel Bryan gets going, he gets going. He's fast. He gets high. He gets speedy.
And in terms of that, it's the emotional investment here as well, coming from Daniel Bryan. Like, there's some pent up stuff here between him and Rowan. So to have him come in and then, like, you know, like, granted, you know, it's essentially that enemy of my enemy is my friend thing with Roman. So they've come in this together and they're coming together strong.
Yeah, 100%.
And Luke Harper not being really seen in a long time, he's ready rocking to go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely raring. Again, beautiful match. A lot of use of the outside of the ring. I believe tornado tags aren't DQ, but they can be countouts. Because I swear they were counting at one point and somebody rolled back. And
I think if everyone's down, maybe it's probably a bit different. But.
Tornado tags are really, really tricky one to figure out. If you don't know what a tornado tag is, basically it's all in one. Yeah. Like no tagging in or out. It's just you can just all brawl.
It's just 4 people. So that means any pin or any submission at any time must be in the ring. Yeah. But a pin can happen almost anywhere.
Yeah, exactly it. Again, some beautiful, beautiful bits there. There was a glorious spear through an announce desk. There was the yes kicks literally blowing the sound, like the roof off the building. Like people were losing their minds for Daniel Bryan. Come out doing the yeses actually, which was an interesting little thing I thought. I think we're seeing something here with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Getting back into the yes Daniel Bryan.
And that's the thing, the big surprise here. So spoilers. What we're here to do. The win does go to Roman and Daniel Bryan after a
Superman punch into a double knee.
Superman punch into the flying knee and then into a spear on Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Not how I thought it was going to go.
Neither.
The second I heard it was tornado tag as well, I genuinely thought we're going to get some double-handed tactics here. Like Daniel Bryan has, he's not a big liar. I'm not a fan of lying, and this would be the ultimate lie, I suppose.
Yeah.
I really expected him to turn on Roman, and that's what we would get. And then we would get a match at Survivor Series between the two. That's where I was thinking it was going to go. But it didn't go that way, like not even in the slightest, man. Like both Roman and Daniel worked incredibly well together. Yeah. Same goes for Rowan and Harper. They just, they got history here. These guys were like, long-standing tag team. It was fine. I enjoyed it. It was very hard. Like some mad hits by Daniel though.
Yeah.
Like he takes that power bomb from the top rope, blows him apart.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, he was welting up real heavy on his back from something. I thought it was really cool that he did like the I guess you'd call it like a tornado DDT or whatever, where he like gets on like Rowan and Harper picked him up. He got his legs on Harper's shoulders and he like drops down.
And became a Hurricanrana.
Yeah, that's it, Hurricanrana. That's the one I was looking for. That was awesome as well. Like especially just how like stunned Erick was at like what just happened. Like that was beautiful as well. And there was what else was there? I think that was it. Oh, there was after the spear. I think. This made me giggle. I just had to put this out there. If you watch very closely, as Rowan and Roman are writhing in pain, like they clash heads, and I was just like, oops.
Yeah, like, I
couldn't help but have a bit of a laugh at that. I love picking up on those little things because it just makes it a little bit more funny.
Yeah, you like to make insult to injury. You're already hurt and you bang your head.
Poor Roman had blown out his knee because when the announce table dropped this outside where his leg was, it was still standing, so his knees clocked the top of it. I think at some point Harper on the bottom supports, he clocked his head right on the corner of one of them as well, and I was just like, oh, you poor thing. But just got straight up, like didn't even phase him. I was like, damn, you are one strong man.
So once the Bludgeon Brothers kind of rolled out of the ring in pain.
Bludgeon Brothers, I was thinking that name.
There, Daniel Bryan stretches out his hand for a handshake with Roman, and Roman's hesitant at first, goes in for the shake. Daniel pulls away. I'm like, who's gonna fucking punch him? Yep. Daniel Bryan, now that you've defeated, Rowan, you can work to your real goal of going at Roman.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that may have been, if he was behind all this, this would be the time.
Yeah.
But no. Turns around, crowd boos, and he's like, nah, mate. Puts his arms out for a big bro hug. Crowd starts going wild. And then, Roman's like, nah, I don't hug, man.
He's like,
I'm not that guy. And he's like, come on.
Yeah, he's like, come on. And he just gets the crowd going again, and they start going, and Roman just sort of shakes his head, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, it's a big old bro hug. It was beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. They raise each other's arms. Beautiful finish. Absolutely gorgeous.
Next up, there was a usual backstagey segments as we get here. I think this one was with Charlie.
Yeah, Miss Charlie Caruso.
Yeah, having a chat with Charlie about what Seth is to expect at the end. Because he's got the match against the Fiend tonight. Yeah. In a surprising turn of events, we didn't have. I kind of expected. Seth to be like, yeah, no, I'm really nervous. Just took a mean nervous poops. Not feeling too well. Been vomiting all day.
Oh, go away.
What's going on with your thing?
I don't know. My phone's doing a dicky.
There we go.
Thank you.
So it's fine. It was just the idea. She's like, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna talk about t-shirt phrases.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
And I was like, oh, he's afraid.
He's shaking.
Yeah, he was definitely very shaken.
They did hug it out.
They hugged it out. So, yeah, that was that.
Let's see. Next up was Randy Orton versus Ali. This is a match that was kind of thrown together at the kickoff show. Mm-hmm. This match was fine. It did, I guess because of its hotshot booking, is kind of coming out of nowhere. It did feel a little bit like a match could have been on SmackDown.
Yeah, well, I was like, oh, this is a bit random, and then because I hadn't seen the kickoff, Ryan was like, oh, it came about in the kickoff, and I was like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah. There is some closure here as well, because as the draft is coming up next week, I think this is a good time for anyone that did have any, it's their last chance to sort of get their redemption if they have ever had any things. So, and the big thing out of Randy and Ali, let's reopen that fucking paper cut. Because that Randy cost Ali the Elimination Chamber.
Yes,
He lost him his title shot that Kofi took over.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, so there is still a little bit of bad blood there. So I guess this is their last hurrah before the draft. Be like, let's get it sorted. Let's get it done. Winner's the winner.
Yeah.
Interesting matches overall.
Wasn't horrible. Wasn't. There was some good spots, like Ali used this amazing counter to the RKO, which was really interesting. And then Randy just snapped in shortly after with the RKO. There was some, obviously, again, outside the ring, as you do, a lot of outside the ring stuff going on in this pay-per-view. Again, there was a few spots on tables and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, pretty good match. Randy Orton did end up getting the win with that RKO just out of nowhere, just completely just rocked Ali.
Yeah, so although Ali was able to dodge out of that first RKO, the second one kind of just wrecked his day.
Absolutely wrecked him, came out of nowhere. Interesting with that, I did notice the entire time after the match, Randy was just sort of nodding at Ali the entire time and did a little bit of this at him and just kept nodding, which I guess was a sign of respect, you gave me a good run for my money, kid.
Yeah, I guess look, we're done.
That was really cool.
We're done now, and it was all right.
Yeah, exactly it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just a situation Randy came out the winner here, which is fine.
Yeah.
But that's what you expect.
Yeah, exactly it. I mean, it's Randy. He's the... What I did love, I forgot to mention this, when he gets up in the corner and he does that little slither, I was just like, oh yeah, and then he's just like... I was like, yes, Randy. But yeah, no, good little match. It's crazy to see how, considering how old he is in comparison, he's still, it's like nothing's ever happened. He's just so agile still and so strong off the bat. And, he's just, it was really good. Yeah. No, it was a good, it's essentially a good SmackDown match is what exactly
it was. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly it.
Next up was the Women's Tag Team Championship, which was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, the current champions, taking on Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Another match that sort of came out of nowhere on the kickoff show, but one I was very happy to see.
Yeah, me too. I've been thinking lately, I really want to see more of the Kabuki Warriors. I'd really like to see them with the belts on. I think they could do something amazing with it. So yeah, I was really excited for this match. I really was. Overall a good match. Very strong. It's yeah, the Kabuki Warriors are really good. They're just not given the opportunity to be.
Yeah, what was really cool here is we're seeing a lot of heel tactics used here. So, you know, a little bit of like when the ref's not looking stuff. But it did all sort
there
of...
was a few eye pokes and stuff
It did
like
all
that.
sort of happen after a certain moment. So there was a situation where Kyrie did have the pin on Alexa, but Nikki caused the distraction, so the ref didn't see the count. It was easy, like a 5 count at this point, right? So I think once that count was missed, they're like, nah, screw this, and they just started to do those dirty tactics.
Yep, you got to match. It's
So
called adapting.
one of those examples is, so Kyrie does the walk the plank thing where she sets up and does the running lariat into the corner, where he's just run across the corner, bing, bang Nikki in the eyes, and then you legged it at Alexa. That's really smart tag team play. Actually. Like, you know, because if she's running at Alexa, next thing you turn around, Nikki's there. So this is just smart. Granted, poking in the eyes probably a bit much. But you could just talk to one maybe.
Yeah. Well, this is typical of Kyrie. Like, we have noticed she's quite a little prankster. You know, she's flicked Alexa in the forehead and little things like that. Like, she booted that magazine cover out of Mandy's hands, little things like that. Like, she's very cheeky like that. So it's not something that I was expecting, but I wasn't not expecting it. You know.
Yeah.
I was expecting something cheeky and off the cuff like that.
It's that cool kind of setup where she's, you know, in the ring a little bit cheeky, but outside she's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so when she's in that space, she's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, it's just
the win did go to the Kabuki Warriors. They are the new tag team champions.
They are.
After a little bit of scuffle with Asuka and Nikki Cross, where Asuka green mists, does Nikki's face out, and when the ref's distracted by Alexa Bliss and Kyrie having a bit of scuffle in the corner, and then
just spits all over him. Very Tajiri. Tajiri used to do that back in the day, so that was a really cool nod back to him.
One thing that was really, really cool is when Asuka did the cover, she kind of covered Nikki's face to hide the green, and then 1, 2, 3, what the fuck?
Yeah. And the funny thing about the what the fuck was, like, they get out, like, Alexa and Nikki are out of the ring, and you see it cut to Alexa and Nikki, and Alexa's like, what happened to your face? Like, she had no idea what happened because Kyra was distracting her. It was absolutely beautiful. It was such a fun little nod to, like, the old Tajiri days when he used to do it to everybody. Like, it was just beautiful, and I'm so excited, and I really hope that they do something good with these.
Yeah, and if anything, it made Asuka look awesome. With all the
she
shit
looked so
hanging out
bad.
her mouth, like
She looked
goose.
so cool with the green running down. It looked awesome. And the cute little, like, Kyra tried to clean it off her chin, which was a bit sweet as well.
This does give me some concern, though, because having the belts, now granted, no one saw this coming, but we know with Alexa and Nikki no longer being the belted team and the draft is coming up, they could be split.
They could
be. They're not going to split Asuka and Kyrie now. They would have had the exact same risk, 12 hours ago. However, once this match got locked in, they're not splitting up.
No, they're not going.
But that's my concern. I really like what Alexa and Nikki have done.
Yeah,
I've really expected, with the original storyline when we speculated was at some point Alexa would turn.
Yeah.
And and cause some scuffle.
Yeah.
However, that appears to have not been the case. They just genuine friends, became a genuinely good tag team. So I like that that's not where it ended up.
Yeah.
But my concern is they get split.
Yeah.
It could happen. The draft, anyone can go anywhere.
Exactly.
Next up was a match between the Viking Raiders, the OC and the Viking Raiders with the third member of Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Boy, did I pop a little bit when, because it was OC came out first. I'm like, OC, this is a 6-man tag. I'm like, 6? And then the Viking Raiders, I'm like, wait, who's going to be the third?
Yeah.
Oh, yes! It was awesome.
Yeah. So I didn't see this one, so I'll let you take the reins for that.
So it was essentially what you'd expect is just big dudes on big dudes with AJ just whipping his way around. Yeah. It was interesting to not have Cedric there for that reason. You think they'd want to counteract him with that swippy guy, but I think Cedric's kind of staying back a little bit now after being consecutively beaten. Yeah. So there's a lot of that, a lot of bussing around, that cool stuff. A lot of, Braun doing his running around.
I love that
There was a point where he just decked everyone's ringside, and he's kind of goes, I'm gonna run around.
I did see at one point, I think I saw this on Twitter or something like that. He was like being smart ass about the whole Tyson Fury thing from SmackDown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we talked about in the SmackDown show, like, so, you know, Braun getting all up in Tyson Fury's face.
Yeah.
This was a little bit here. There was a lot of focus on his hands and stuff, which is very cool.
Yeah.
So the match does end in a DQ finish with the Viking Raiders and Braun after a beat down from the OC. So the OC kind of, it got to a point where the OC had no option. If they're going to win, so if they're going to lose, they might as well lose their own terms.
Yeah.
And that comes into that beat down. This is classic OC tactics at this point here. There's nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yeah.
Which is a real bummer, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Because what happened? So Braun clears the ring once again. Takes out Gallows and Anderson. They're ringside.
Oh, wow.
AJ gets ready for the phenomenal forearm. He jumps up. He gets airborne. Braun clocks him clean. And he just eats shit. And he's just dead. And then everyone's like, oh, he kind of leaves the ring. And then like AJ's unconscious.
Oh, no.
And then so Gallows and walk up and they pick on you. See him kind of like come to. He's like, oh, what happened? Well, it's on the ground. Like, yeah, he punched you out. He did what? Like, he's like lighting his feet and he's stumbling around. And it's also he's like, no, I've got this, man. I got this. So they pick him up and they get him to the ropes. He's like, yeah, I got this, right? And he goes to grab the rope, misses, and just tumbles through the ropes on the ringside. It's fantastic. They're all they're carrying him up the side, and he gets halfway and he's like, belt! Where's my belt? And he turns around and like falls backwards a little bit, and the ref gives him he's like just that days from having his face wrecked out. So he gives him the belt, and he turns back and looks at something, like gets to the top of the ramp. He's like, nah, everyone, get back. Yeah. It just falls right backwards. Like AJ got rocked.
I'm glad that he just kept playing it though. That's so good.
Hands.
Yeah,
like it was fantastic.
He got those hands. He got them hard.
It was brilliant.
Wow.
I was pissing my pants.
Oh wow! I'm glad that he just kept trying though. Like holy shit!
Yeah,
he's
like, I got this.
I can do this.
I can do this.
It's like when you're drunk, you're like, I'm fine.
I'm not unconscious. However,
you sure he wasn't drunk?
Maybe. This is what makes me excited. Because this could mean Braun with a United States Championship go.
Ooh,
like the big guys don't always get their shots at the big belts, or they do get the shots and always kind of goes against them. Like statistically, it's how it goes. But I'll be very happy with Braun having a United States. Like he has only ever had one belt two belts to his name. He's had the Raw Tag Team a couple of times, or twice actually, with Seth, and then with that kid at WrestleMania.
That one time.
And then he had the Saudi Arabian belt from the Greatest Royal Rumble, which we haven't seen since because it's just a belt that happens there.
Yeah.
So it'd be very cool for him to have a shot at the United States Championship.
Yeah.
It'd be very cool for him to walk out with that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Next was a 24/7 segment. Pardon me, I just burped my face out. Backstage, Tamina out of nowhere eats Carmella, like Carmella's eats shit.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Tamina grabs it, legs it, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Drew's standing there, he's like, "Hey, Carmella, what happened to you?" She stands up. She's like, Tamina just got in. She took my belt. What do you mean you lost your 7-11 24/7 European Television Championship? It was awesome. Because there was with the Street Profits as well.
Yeah,
so they just watched the whole thing and they were like, oh! Because it all happened right in front of them. They were just on point.
Goals.
And then they're like, where Tamina goes? They both went, that way.
I love it.
So, they could come in and Truth like, Carmella, you take the upstairs, I'll take downstairs. Let's go to the stairs. And he just legs it and they're like, she's like, there are no stairs.
I love Truth so much. He's such a goofball. He's like my favorite.
Yeah, so I can remember, I remember I have ones later, so we can get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Awesome, Tamina. This is the first time she's ever held the belt in WWE.
It's a first for everything. Good on her.
Good on her.
Capitalize on an opportunity.
It is a bummer because when Nia Jax went away injured because she's had both her knees just broken.
Yeah.
I was concerned where Tamina would go because she was very connected to Nia Jax. So to have her be able to at least do something cool.
And she has been chasing it since it became part of Carmella's.
Since Carmella had that little squad that ran behind her as well, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next up was another rematch, probably the third time. This was Chad Gable versus King Corbin. Our King Corbin. So this, similar to how Mustafa and Randy felt like a SmackDown show, episode, match thing.
Yeah.
This felt like just a Raw match.
Yeah.
So it started off with they're both in the ring before the bell goes off. King Corbin ducks out, just does more short ripping, and he goes, "As king, I now anoint you the name of Shorty. You are Shorty Gable. That is your name." And he's all bummed out about it. They have a scuffle, and it was a fucking on point match, man.
Yeah?
Everyone poops on Baron Corbin.
No, he does well.
Not, because he can, because he wants his job, but like he went hard.
Yeah,
awesome, fantastic. However, justice was given to the hands of Chad Gable as he came out the winner.
Oh yeah,
very nice, very cool. I enjoyed there was a little sneaky roll up,
literal underdog.
Yeah, hey. That was very happy. Like no
sneaky roll up
there.
Was it?
Kind of a sneaky roll up.
Yeah,
it kind of got him stuck. He's like fuck, and then.
1, 2, 3, gun.
It was awesome. Next up, as the entrances to Charlotte and Bayley, which is the next match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Tamina's in the crowd for some reason, standing there just staring aimlessly. She's like, and Corey's just like, "Go anywhere else. Why are you in the building?"
Right? he makes a valid point. Like, do not stay here. You
why
leave.
Are you in the building? Just fucking leave.
Yeah.
So then they're at the international tables at this point.
Yeah.
Truth and Carmella come out. Tamina runs behind the thing, grabs Funaki as like as a shield. Funaki's like, "What the fuck?" Truth tries to do some kung fu moves. Funaki gets ready to rock some kung fu. And I was like, "Oh shit, Funaki may just be the 24/7 champion." Like, if he takes out Truth, turns around and just socks Tamina, boom, Funaki. No, instead Tamina just pushes Funaki into Truth and legs it. But as she turns around, big boot by Carmella, drops her on her back. 1, 2, 3 from Truth. Carmella's like, "Go, go, go." For some reason, I don't know why Carmella didn't go.
I don't know why Carmella didn't. Yeah.
But Truth gets the pin. So Truth is now the 20-time 24/7 champion.
Wow. That's wild.
Lot going on.
20 time. Damn, Truth.
Then we get Charlotte versus Bayley. It was super weird because you can see them standing in the ring going, what's
happening here?
Okay, cool.
If you insist.
Pardon me. Solid match. Really enjoyed it. One of the big things they were doing here, and this was really smart of both of them, I guess. So Charlotte was very heavy on the legs. Yeah. Obviously, taking advantage of her figure 4 submission.
Yeah.
Just so if we can take out legs, it's going to make that submission more effective.
Yeah.
Bayley had a similar approach, but in the opposite. If I take out Charlotte's legs, she's not going to be able to figure 4 me as well.
Yeah.
So smart move, a lot of tactic around there, and they both had a lot of gusto because there is a lot of emotion coming into this. We've seen from the previous weeks. Like on SmackDown, as we talked about, like she just eats a pin.
Yeah.
She eats a pin from Charlotte.
Yeah.
So there's the pressure. And, with Sasha losing earlier in the night, I'm sure there is that additional, push on Bayley to retain as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't go that way, of course. Does end with a figure 8.
Yeah.
No, that one. On the 1, 2, 3. Quick tappies.
Yeah.
Bayley taps out to the figure 4. The figure 8, sorry.
Figure 8, yeah.
That makes Charlotte a 10-time SmackDown, a 10-time Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah. What I do love is she's hashtag like Char10.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep. Beautiful.
So during this whole kerfuffle, you can tell that Bayley did just give it her all as well.
Yeah, of course.
So she's sitting ringside against the LED board, just kind of having a shit time. Charlotte's
very
like,
reminiscent of
Sasha. And Charlotte kind of gets up and leaves. But yeah, really reminiscent to what Sasha was doing at the start of the show. And then it kind of got to this point, and Bayley just cracked. She's flipping the stairs. She's throwing shit. She's having a straight up tanty.
Yeah, not happy.
And she says, and I quote, "Why does this always happen to me?"
Ooh.
Now, this isn't where I thought it was going to go. I truly expected Bayley to retain here.
Yeah.
Because out of the 4 matches that we knew about, this was one of them.
Yes.
I thought that Bayley would retain and Sasha would win, and that once again, as I said, validating their turn, everything that they've done up to this point meant something. I'm forgetting that Sasha has a notorious record of losing at pay-per-views.
Yes.
However,
see, I thought a little bit differently. I thought that Sasha would lose and go on to crack it at Bayley for being successful, and then a turn.
See, this is where I think it's going to happen. I think on the right path.
Yeah.
But I think it's the other way around. My theory is that before Sasha came back, Bayley was winning. She won consistently. She won a fucking belt.
Yeah.
Right? Sasha turns up, makes it all about her.
Yeah.
Bayley loses.
Yeah.
So this is where it comes from. It's the situation, like, you know, it's been this common sort of belief that Sasha Banks is the one using Bayley, and it's always been that case. And at this, you know, and Bayley's been doing these sort of, you know, heely things, this mischievous, dirty things in the ring recently. But I believe that's probably at the advice of Sasha.
Yeah.
And, you know, Bayley has that point. Like, I even did what you told me to do, and I lost. You caused me to lose my belt. And all for nothing, because you didn't win your belt either.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Interesting.
That's where I see it going.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. Because, like, if that makes sense, because, like, in this turn here, like, up until this moment, Bayley hadn't believed she'd done anything wrong.
No.
You know, she talks about she believes she's still that role model, she's showing you exactly how to be loyal to your friend, and that loyalty is damaged.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, interesting.
Excited. Killer in the chat does say, I expected Charlotte to win because I reckon Bayley will go back to Raw. That's also a concern here. By her not having that championship, she can move freely, as can Sasha. So we're making the assumption they're going to be paired back up. What if it goes the other way?
Yeah. Interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting.
That does bring us into our main event. This is Seth Rollins versus the Fiend in a Hell in a Cell. It's going to get controversial in this room. But interesting decisions here. Seth comes in first, gets in the ring. Fiend comes in very reminiscent to Kane.
Yeah.
A lot of red lights used, and those red lights stay the whole way through.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice, having the red light stay on throughout the match.
Now, I've been talking non-stop for like 10 minutes. Yeah. It's your turn.
So the red light stayed on throughout the match. The crowd stayed dim too. There was no excess lighting around it. It was very focused on that center of the ring. So I don't know how to describe this match. Like, it was literally like the Fiend the entire way. Like, Seth kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and nothing he did could down the Fiend. And then when he did down the Fiend, he got straight back up.
The comparison I heard from another wrestling pod that I listened to was a horror movie villain.
Yeah.
It's Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Like, every time you get him down, the fucker gets back up. And, like, you kick him with everything you possibly can, and he just gets up.
You literally murder the guy, and he still comes back.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly how it is. It was like every time he was knocked down, he got straight back up. You know, Seth Rollins got a kendo stick out, and he smashed him with a kendo stick. Didn't
budge. Wrecked him. Right in the guts.
Yeah.
Not a move.
Nothing. You know, he did end up pulling out that creepy sledgehammer he had in the funhouse at one point.
Yes, but that does come a little bit later. So there is some ringside action that's sort of a bit of bussing. Seth just taking mad hits from Bray.
Yeah.
A lot of chest hits, a lot of throwing to the cage.
Yeah.
Takes an Abigail to the stage at one. To the cell at one point. You know, the cameraman gets in the way and Bray nearly chews him out. Like, holy shit!
Get out of the way. It's beautiful.
There was this proper like ringside dussin, right? Yeah. It was fantastic. So Seth is bringing out chairs, bringing out kendo sticks, pulls out a table at one point, and this is where it gets amazing. Right?
Yeah.
So Bray's on the table. Seth Frog splashes him. He gets back up.
Straight back up.
Takes 3 consecutive stomps.
Yep.
Pins him.
Yep.
Comes out at 1.
At 1. Yeah. And then again, Seth goes for it with the super kicks and the stomps. And again.
So Seth goes again. Super kick. 5 consecutive stomps.
Yeah.
Gets up in 2.
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yeah, ridiculous.
And just before that is where Bray brings his Harlequin hammer out, guts Seth on the ringside.
Yeah,
guts him.
And then Seth somehow manages to rock him like head first into his own hammer.
Yeah, so kind of kicks him, brings him down, stomps him into the hammer. Almost no effect once again.
Absolutely vicious. And then, it gets to the point where Seth is just doing anything. He finally does get the Fiend down. He's laying...
Well, before he even gets there, like you say, in terms of, once again, like the flying knees that he does.
Yeah.
That normally rocks everybody.
Yeah.
Pushed 3 of them. And he's just... It hits Bray in the face. He goes, oh, and just gets back up.
Yeah, a little bit.
And just gets back up.
Yeah, just non-stop.
Now we should mention, so Bray does go for the pin once and once
only. Yeah, and that was it.
But yes, as you said, there is that moment where Seth has to realize that he needs to do almost anything. And you see it in his face too.
Yeah. Like they do. You see it in his face. He's like, well, what can I do? So first I think he goes for a chair shot to the head.
Yeah, he goes down, gets the chair. He's standing literally above him, and we're talking a direct whack to the face.
Yep.
Up in 2.
Yeah, up in 2.
Oh, maybe in 1. It was up in 1.
It was 1, yeah. Because
another 1.
Yeah, there was the stomps, then, the 1, and then it was the chair.
Yeah, direct chair, like head damage. Like this guy's had nothing but head trauma, and he's still going. Absolutely gnarly.
So next, I believe it was the ladder.
Seth crams Bray's head in the chair, grabs the ladder, uses the ladder as like a big chisel.
Yeah.
Bang.
Same thing.
Blows apart his face. Nothing.
He's still
kicks
moving.
out at 2, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even think he pins him at this point.
Don't even think he does. Nah. Then he gets like the ladder. He puts the ladder over the Fiend, and then puts a chair in between it, and then gets a toolbox.
Yeah. So what he does is so he gets his head through one of the rungs of the ladder, and then gets the chair in between it. So it's like ladder. It's like a ladder sandwich.
Chair sandwich.
Ladder. Chair, ladder. So when he does hit it, so the ladder will wreck his chest, and the chair will damage his face.
Yep.
Smart move.
Yeah, absolutely smart.
Took me a second to realize. I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So and then he goes at ringside to find something cool, pulls out a chair. That's not enough. Throws it, pegs the chair. That actually comes later. So he's got the no, that's not it. Gets the toolbox, comes up, got the toolbox. Rails him with that toolbox, like kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Tools are flying everywhere, like random ass spanners and shit.
Yeah.
Just airborne.
Throw a spanner in the works there.
Hey.
Absolutely ridiculous. And then the Fiend's still moving.
Yeah, and it's like he hasn't, at this point, Seth hasn't gone for a pin yet.
No.
Or he gets too much shit on him to go for the pin.
Because I think he's realized at this point, like, the only way I'm going to get this guy down is by basically murdering him, knocking him so unconscious that he can't move.
Yeah.
So Seth is doing anything in his power to properly knock him out, and every time he sees the Fiend move after a hit, it's like, I've got to do more. So this does bring him to stand out the ring, contemplating for a little bit, and he ends up grabbing a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I'm saying, because there is some Triple H'ness in here. Like, he does pull the pedigree out earlier.
He does.
Once again, no result.
Yeah.
Comes out, sees that sledge under the ring, comes in, gets in the ring. At this point, the ref is just
like, no, don't you dare! Like, don't do this. You are going to kill.
Because the ref didn't see him grab it. The ref is just there trying to see if there's any life in Bray Wyatt.
Exactly it.
So he gets up, turns around, sees Seth. The thing
like this.
Ref approaches him, mate. It's not you. You're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
This is not what we do. You don't kill. Like, this is. Don't.
Yeah.
And Seth, you can see him internally struggling. Like, he stops and he like weeps for a minute.
Yeah.
And then he kind of comes together and he just blows apart.
Yeah. The only way
Bray's
to get rid of a
face
nightmare is to kill it.
Yeah. He gets that sledgehammer, rocks it into the toolbox, into the thing. Damage.
Yeah.
This is where the ref calls no contest. Mm-hmm. So he cuts the match short.
The cell starts.
The cell starts rising. And then the paramedics come
Medical
in.
Staff,
keep trying to keep Seth away so the paramedics can do what they need to do, because this is a damage point.
Yeah.
Like, this is more than what a match should have.
Yeah, exactly it.
So
it's not a blood sport.
Yeah. So Seth comes in, gets up in the Fiend's face. He's grabbing him by the shirt.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to wake him.
He's just trying to get just talking trash at him. Mandible claw, bam!
Bam! Yep, straight up. You just see that
fucking
hurt glove
wrecks him.
Straight up. Yeah, vicious. I was not expecting that. I honestly got a little bit scared. I was like,
it happened so fast. I thought, why is Seth biting his fingers? Oh god! And then because he just gets picked up and wrecked.
Yep, just so fast. And like, we were watching, your son was there, and I was like, I shuddered a little bit, and James was right behind me, holding on to me. He was like, "It's okay, Jem, I've got you." And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Yeah, my son found the Fiend a little scary, so he was.
Well, we were protecting him, and then suddenly he decided I was the one that needed protecting.
Yeah.
It's okay, Jem. I've got you.
Yeah.
And yeah, he must have felt me shake because he was like, "It's okay, Jem," and I was like, "Thanks, buddy." But it was vicious. And then he just like, because they'd started lifting the Fiend onto the medical
stretcher board
thing. Yeah,
thing.
the stretcher board. Yep, and he just climbed up off of that and just starts wrecking Seth. Absolutely wrecking him.
Throws him, gets him ringside. Fiend comes out, pulls up the mat, exposed, concrete. Sister Abigail.
Yeah, vicious. Yep. And then a final mandible claw that just has Seth pulling blood
just
out.
opening shit and he's just spewing blood out of his face. Cut to black.
You
cut
hear
to
that,
like
screeching and the laughing.
He's at the top of the ramp. Cut to black. End of the night.
End of the night. Unfortunately, though, with this, that did cause a lot of controversy.
Yeah, so a lot of people in the room had an issue with the outcome of this match. They wanted...
You can audibly hear the booing, even
and
with
the
AEW
AEW chants.
Yeah.
Like, they wanted Bray to come out the winner here.
Yeah, they wanted him to come out strong.
However, I think Bray has come out the winner here.
Yeah, 100%, because it gives that nightmare keeps coming back feel.
Not in the traditional sense. Like, you can tell very clearly that it wasn't Bray's focus to come out with that belt. He goes for one pin and then he doesn't even go hard on it.
No.
Right? And if you look about it, and like, so the Fiend is there, and Bray Wyatt in any of his Firefly Funhouse stuff has not mentioned the belt. He gives zero fucks about the belt. His priority was Seth. Breaking Seth, getting into Seth's head. He got in. Let 100%. Him in. Seth let him into his head and fucked with him.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely paid for it. And you could see it in Seth's face. You can see he was rocked by it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 100%.
And I guarantee you, we may not even see Seth at Raw tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not right.
You know, and then I imagine he's fucked up.
Yeah.
He's fucked up.
Like, the way he was spitting out blood, I'd imagine so too.
Yeah. Like, this is absolutely gnarly. Like, granted, I personally would have loved to see Bray with the belt. However,
I don't think that's his intent.
In the heat of the moment, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Why can you end? Because at the time, I was like, I thought it was a DQ finish.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are they DQ finishing a Hell in a Cell, which ideally is not a DQ, like it's not supposed to be. It's no DQ match. Yeah. However,
WWE did clarify on social medias that it was not a DQ; it was a no contest.
Yeah. And that's totally valid too, because like within the space of WWE, although sorry, I don't want to touch your phone. Okay. Although it is, you know, kind of no holds bar in terms of this match being a Hell in a Cell match, it is still a sport.
Yeah.
And like, you know, behind all of it, it is that sport, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And by doing so, every match has rules.
Yes.
And even like, it's that no disqualification with an asterisk. Don't fucking kill someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this isn't bum fights. Yeah. This isn't some back alley street fight nonsense.
Yeah.
Like it is still a sport in some sense.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, we're aware that like people in the past have been sledgehammered.
Yeah.
You know, like Triple H did it to Vince. I think Taker did it once as well.
There's Triple H that was his main tool of choice. Like,
yeah.
Triple H always had the sledgehammer out.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's just like there regardless of what you do, in terms of when there's no limits, there is still a limit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it wasn't like with Triple H, it was, you know, it was never like a sledgehammer on a toolbox, on a ladder, on a chair, like between a ladder. Like it was never like that intense. Like it was, it's next level. So I can definitely understand the no contest.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, like the Fiend did come out on top with that. Like clearly he,
AJ says people were more annoyed at the no contest ruling because it's the second year in a row with a Hell in a Cell no contest. That's totally true. Because last year it was Braun versus Roman.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar came and just fucked the cage door off and then just kicked the shit out of everyone in the ring.
Yeah. Okay.
So like on top of that, 100%. Yeah. Like having two no contests in a row is a concern.
Yeah.
And if anything, it goes two ways. It goes, this is the power of the cell.
Yeah.
As a mental torture device, the cell pushes people to their limits.
Yeah.
And this is where they need to understand that as part of, you know, that structure of it being a sport or a sports entertainment. Like, you know, this is the thing. Last year was interference. That's an understandable no contest, right?
Yeah, of course.
Here, it just Seth went further than even the no disqualification rules allowed.
Yeah. exactly it.
And I totally agree. 2 years in a row, we'll break our kayfabe for a second because our kayfabe is different. But the booking here was kind of poor.
Yeah.
Especially
especially
that happened at last year, right?
Yeah.
And that is another concern here is that they want to book Hell in a Cell as this incredibly life-changing, destructive thing, yet it's not going that distance.
No.
They went, back. Could be an issue with the time that we're in now, but previously, Mankind got wrecked through a cell.
Yeah.
Through a cell, and that wasn't a no DQ.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't a no contest.
Yeah. The Undertaker chokeslammed him through the top of it or something.
Yeah, he threw him into the announce table, and then picked him up and chokeslammed him through the cage, through the cell, onto Tax.
Mm-hmm.
That was gnarly, but in terms of the story, this was kind of gnarlier.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because as I said, spoilers. Part of this show is falling into that kayfabe and running with it. So there's part of it that works, but on a personal level, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. Saying that though, we'll get to speculation. Back to kayfabe. There are some things here that are really cool. So from here, we get Survivor Series next month, right?
Yes.
So Survivor Series has a couple of things that are going for it. We are now going to get Becky versus Charlotte.
Heck yeah.
Presuming that nothing changes between now and then. That's amazing because that was the big moment last year.
Yeah.
They had, I believe it was a TLC or a Last Woman Standing, one of the two, or an Iron Man match. A bonkers match of Survivor Series last year. Absolutely amazing, right? So we get to see that again.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. We are going to get Brock versus Seth again. Now, granted, I don't want to see it again, but it's cool. I personally would have rather have seen Brock versus the Fiend.
Yeah.
Because if you we want to see how strong the Fiend is, and if the Fiend can drop Brock Lesnar, holy shit.
Yeah.
Saying that, break kayfabe again. It's back to Fox. I'm not going to let that happen.
No.
So that will probably a big part of why this decision happened.
Yeah.
There's no way that Seth Rollins could have beaten the Fiend.
No.
It's not, period. In terms of the story, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
However, this option allows Brock to not have to face that.
Yeah.
So Seth can eat shit at Survivor Series now. Or there can be some disc from DQ with Hernandez.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Velasquez.
Velasquez. Thank you very much. That's right. Killer's spot on.
Yeah.
I was actually incorrect. So I'm thinking of Evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution had that killer match. So it was booked last year to have an awesome match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah.
And it became Ronda versus Charlotte.
Yeah, because the Raw invasion, right?
That's right.
Yeah, the Raw invasion.
Thank you for the correction there, Killer.
Nia socked Becky in the face and broke Becky's face.
I think Evolution was the last woman standing.
We covered that because we're about a year in, aren't we?
I know.
Just off.
Well, yeah, the 6. No, it's not
Just
quite.
off.
We started. I think we started in January.
Yeah.
So today is the 7th, the time of recording. Yesterday, the 6th of October, that was my 1 year WrestleVersary.
Oh, happy anniversary!
Thank you very much. It's been a good year.
Yeah.
A very good year.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting something that, because at SummerSlam last year, I'm getting all my fucking times mixed up.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam last year, that was Becky versus Charlotte, and that was the big heel turn.
Yeah.
For Becky, or the big push that came from there. Evolution was the last one standing. Thank you, Killer. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is why we have Killer. He's our fact checker.
Yeah.
I get all passionate and my memory gets all fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and saves the day. Champion. But what do you, we're getting in an hour. This is supposed to be like short shows. What have you got?
Look, overall, with the downside of that ending, I honestly would solidly give it a Kurt and a bar.
I'm in the same boat. Kurt and a bar for me too.
It was good. Apart from the ending, it was solid.
Yeah.
Very solid. 3 major title changes. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Like they're 3. What's the third one?
Yeah. It was Becky, Bayley, and the tags.
Becky didn't lose the belt at all.
Oh, no. It was...
Charlotte, tags.
Yeah, Charlotte, tags, and... there was 3, wasn't there?
2.
Why do I think there was 3?
Oh, because you talked about Braun and the...
Oh, maybe. Yeah, my brain's
there's some belt changes. I thought there wasn't going to be any. And for a pay-per-view that was kind of booked today, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
As some of its parts, like collectively, it's kind of poo. But if you look at it in bit by bit, it kind of comes out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's certainly not like exceptional.
Yeah.
But like it's not down the line. If anything, if we had somewhere in the middle.
I was going to say, if you
Like,
class the 24/7 championship, then 3.
Because there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because we do ours in like, very small set. Like we don't have a lot of nuance in our scores.
Yeah.
Like if I could, it would out of 2 because it would be 1.2, 1.25.
Yeah.
But we don't have that, so it'd be I round up to 1.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where it kind of sits. Like it's
Well, then maybe
better
we
than
can
right
do,
in the middle.
So remember how we were talking to Dash and Dash mentioned
Like
the Triple H?
one and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Remember how Dash mentioned the Triple H? Maybe that can be that quarter.
Nah, it's a down.
Nah, you reckon?
We keep it as it is. Like, and we're just gonna have to fudge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you thought of Hell in a Cell. I'm sure it's guaranteed to be controversial, and I'm gonna make a very clickbaity thumbnail just for funsies.
Yay.
But that was our Hell in a Cell review. This is where we do a little spiel thingy, but it's always different because it's all changing. Young and the Wrestlers, that's this show, can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that, and Wednesdays for pay-per-views.
So this one,
once a month. Yeah, very cool.
Like this one.
Yeah, just like this one. And if you want to join the wrestling conversation, head over to facebook.com/groups/thepopculturists. Discord, links in the description. We're on Twitter. Harass on Twitter. They come up at the end of the show and the start of the show with our names. Also in the comments below. If you want to support the conversation as it happens, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist, where you support us at any dollar value. You can watch us record this show live as well as our PlayStation show for the players. If you want to support us in a more one-off fashion, though, head over to popculturist.com/shopping, buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. I'm due for some new redesigns. Got you want a shirt at some point. And we are also at Twitch, twitch.tv/thepopculturist. Due to this new era of the Young and the Wrestlers, our Twitch streaming has moved from Wednesdays through to Thursday nights. So we'll still do our pay-per-view predictions if the card is full.
Yes.
You know, as we talk about in SmackDown, like nothing in that show led to this pay-per-view aside from like Charlotte and Becky.
No.
Charlotte and Bayley. So they didn't feed us anything for this.
Technically, Sasha and Becky.
Yes, technically.
Yeah.
But there was that's gonna be a problem moving forward when it comes to pay-per-views and 2K. But I think this is just a once-off with the whole Fox thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the future, because in a couple of weeks we'll have 2K20. Ooh, yeah.
Exciting.
Because we are at PAX this weekend.
We are.
And at 2K20 is going to be there with 2K. We're going to go see it.
Yeah,
we're going to go play it. We're going to get
we
excited. And then I'm going to be like, oh my God. And then 2 weeks later, and then we're at the WWE live show.
I know.
And then we get the game comes out the day before.
So excited.
So much going on.
If you see us at PAX, come say hi.
Yeah, man. Big time. We'll be around.
Please.
But until the next one, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I just gave you Hell in a Cell.
That's right. And we'll see you then.
Bye.
Cool. The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.